Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos and welcome to Olivine City where the Fortree Flyers are challenging the Olivine Ore. Fortree Flyers starting out with Mandibuzz and Braviary, two very reliable Pokemon that have been into the Fortree Flyers. Steelix and Copperajah starting out for the Olivine Ore. Both teams are actually equal tied for second position on the ladder at the moment, so let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, Olivine Ore or the Fortree Flyers. Braviary starting out first and goes with Drill Peck. It's going to have the stab boost, but it's still not going to be very effective on the steel typing. Surprisingly, a decent amount of damage to a Pokemon like Copperajah though. Mandibuzz is going to go with Quiver Dance. So it's only going to boost its stats, raising that special attack and special defense as well as that speed. Fortree Flyers on average are the fastest Pokemon team in all of the Elite Challenge League. We get a Stomping Tantrum now from Steelix, but it's not going to affect the flying type. Ground type moves are considered flying type Pokemon are immune to ground type moves, and speaking of which, Dig is a ground type move, so it's not going to hit Braviary or Mandibuzz. As always, 6-on-6 Metronome battle. If we get to the 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. And a withdrawal from Mandibuzz, so Mandibuzz continues to boost those stats. Mandibuzz having that base HP of 110 and that defense of 105, so it's boosting up everything else in the process. Sacred Fire now, but Copperajah avoids it. And again, that Dig does not affect anyone, but that Sacred Fire would have been actually super effective on Copperajah. Discharge, however, will be super effective on the flying types. So Braviary takes a decent amount of damage. Mandibuzz holds on much better. And it even does damage to Copperajah in the process. Not a great deal though. Mandibuzz, with that speed boost. Braviary's got that 123 base attack as well, so it can do some very powerful damage. Iron Defense, again, it continues to boost the stats of Mandibuzz. It needs to take advantage and hit some moves though. Braviary is going to go with Psychic. And will target Copperajah, continuing to chip away at it. Not very effective, but will take it down into the yellow. Copperajah now is going to go with a Rock Blast. This will be super effective, and it goes for Mandibuzz. Hits once. It gets two. Hits three. It's going to want all five, but it only gets three. So Mandibuzz is still in the green. Steelix now. It's going to go with a Torment, so this will stop the opposing Pokemon. It'll stop Mandibuzz from using Metronome. So Mandibuzz may eventually take itself out of this battle when it does struggle. It's going to get recoil damage. Decent hit on Copperajah, but just as much damage being done to itself. Braviary now, looking to capitalize and potentially finish Copperajah off. It's going to go with a Phantom Force, so it's going to disappear from the field. No one's going to be able to hit it for the rest of the turn. So Steelix is wants to target Mandibuzz, but instead targets Braviary, so Braviary does avoid the attack. Get a Gust now coming from Copperajah. It's not going to be very effective on the already flying type Mandibuzz, only doing regular damage. Steelix, having the most impressive defense stat in all of the Elite Challenge League, has 200. Getting an Icicle Spear now coming from Mandibuzz to Copperajah. Hits twice. Continues to chip away at it. Gets it down into the red with that critical hit. So even if it gets the fifth, but it doesn't, only gets four, Copperajah's still holding on. That Phantom Force could finish it off, but instead goes for Steelix. Copperajah with an opportunity to respond now. And it goes with a Lunar Dance. After having all this damage done to it, Copperajah is going to throw it in and eliminate itself from this battle after holding on for so long. Steelix now looking to respond. And it's going to go with the Poltergeist. It's going to use the Leopard Berry against Mandibuzz. Hit it with its own item. Taking Mandibuzz down into the red, but it's still not very effective. And we have Aggron now coming out for the Olivine Ore. Aggron having that 180 base defense. So Steelix and Aggron are going to be able to take some very impressive hits. Aggron also has that 110 attack. Mandibuzz again goes with the struggle. It's not going to do a great deal of damage, but that recoil will eliminate Mandibuzz. After all those stat boosts, Mandibuzz has eliminated itself from the battle. Braviary is going to want to avenge its teammate. It's going to go with a Fury attack. Going to do barely anything to register on Aggron, hitting twice. and only doing 3 points of damage. Get a spite from Aggron in response. This Braviary's Metronome will be reduced by 4. Get a Teeter Dance now coming from Steelix, so it's going to confuse all Pokemon on the field. Hopefully Aggron can shake it off, whereas they want Braviary to start hitting itself. Third Pokemon now is going to come out for the for the Fortree Flyers. And it's Noivern, who made its debut last week in the Elite Challenge League in the Fortree Flyers' first loss when they lost to the Hearthome Haunts. With that said, Noivern did hold on for quite a while. And it's going to be the quickest Pokemon on the field at the moment with that 123 base speed. And it's going to go with the Shadow Force. So again, a Fortree Flyer team member will vanish from the field. Braviary needs to shake off that confusion, but it doesn't, and it does hit itself, taking it down into the yellow. Aggron does, however, shake it off, so this has been perfect so far for the Olivine Ore. It goes with a conversion. And Aggron's type will change to normal. So it'll be... if that Shadow Force comes for Aggron, it won't actually hit now because it's now immune to grass types. Not grass types. It's now immune to ghost types. That drop kick did confuse me there. Being hit on Braviary. Noivern's going to go with the Shadow Force, and it goes for Aggron, and like I said, it doesn't affect its now new normal typing. Braviary shakes off that confusion. It goes with the Psychic. And this is going to target Aggron, and it will hit. Aggron's still also with its confusion. And again, it shakes it off. Aggron's going to go with a Reflect type now. So after changing its type into normal, it's now a normal flying type, the same as Braviary. So not only is it immune to ghost type attacks, it's immune to fighting type attacks. We got a Rock Slide now coming from Steelix. It's going to be super effective on the opposing team, and Braviary has been eliminated with that move from Steelix. That's now 2 down for the Fortree Flyers. After suffering their first loss last week, they're not going to want to have a repeat of that. Now they're going to send out Talonflame. Comes in with that 126 base speed, so it's only just a little bit faster than Noivern. It's Talonflame's chance to take advantage of its fire typing, but instead it goes with a Thunder Shock, which doesn't affect the ground typing of Steelix. Struggle Bug now coming from Noivern, which hits both Steelix and Aggron, but not very effective on either of them. However, it will lower the special attack of both Pokemon. Aggron finally snaps out of its confusion. And it's going to go with a Bolt Strike, so this is going to be super effective on whoever it hits. An unbelievable, a one-hit wonder on Talonflame. Its Flame Body leaving Aggron with a burn, but Talonflame has been eliminated from this battle. Very impressive there by Aggron. Steelix is going to want to continue that momentum. It goes with a Fury Dance. Chips away at Noivern, but does not do much damage whatsoever. Aggron suffering from that burn after eliminating Talonflame. Unbelievable, I cannot believe Aggron just eliminated Talonflame with a one-hit wonder. Hawlucha now, the fighting flying type coming out for the Fortree Flyers. Hawlucha's got that speed of 118, so they're very quick there on the Fortree Flyers. They're almost always going to have the speed advantage. I'm going to get a Zing Zap from Noivern. It's clearly going for Aggron. And puts it down into the red. Noivern with that super effective hit. That flying typing now being a part of Aggron. And a first impression from Hawlucha. The only time this move would hit is on a Pokemon's first turn out on the field. And it goes for Steelix. Got a high jump kick now coming from Aggron. Hits Hawlucha. It's not going to be very effective on its flying typing, however. Steelix now is going to go with a Mind Reader. But we all know everybody's going to do Metronome. But it does take aim at Hawlucha. Aggron, with only a little bit left in its health, should be able to hold on for the next turn unless somebody hits it. Noivern with an opportunity to finish off Aggron. And it's going to go with a Bolt Beak. And it does. It's going to finish off Aggron with that super effective move on the normal flying Aggron. How strange, but Aggron has been eliminated from the field. Hawlucha now is going to want to take advantage of its fighting typing, but instead goes with a Toxic, which doesn't affect the Steel types. And a Thunderbolt now. This is going to be super effective. It goes for Hawlucha. Hawlucha being taken down into the yellow. Very impressive hit. So Fortree Flyers are immune to ground types. Olivine or Steel are immune to poison types. Just so that's clear. Ferrothorn now coming out for the Olivine Ore. And a Sludge Bomb. Speaking of poison types. Doesn't affect Steelix. Hawlucha now going with an Aerial Ace. And it continues to target Steelix. Steelix finally being taken down into the yellow, but it's not very effective. Now we get a Clanging Scales from Steelix. If it targets Noivern, it will be super effective. It hits both, and Noivern's just holding on. But both Hawlucha and Noivern are both in the red, only a little bit of health remaining. And we get a Bulldoze now. It doesn't affect Noivern or Hawlucha. So it's only going to hit Steelix. Unbelievable. Ferrothorn doing damage, super effective damage to its own teammate, and lowering Steelix's speed in the process. Ferrothorn's coming on with that 131 base defense and 116 special defense. So it is a very defensively orientated Pokemon. Get a Wing Attack now coming from Noivern. Targeting Ferrothorn. It's not going to do a great deal of damage. That Steel resistance helping, but that Grass typing being a bit of a detriment. But we get a Memento now from Hawlucha, so Hawlucha's actually going to take itself out of this battle just so it can lower the attack stats of Ferrothorn. This is terrible for the Fortree Flyers. They're now down to their last 2 Pokemon, and they've only eliminated 2 from the Olivine Ore. We see, oh no, we do not see the Guillotine from Ferrothorn, a one-hit KO type move. We do see a Corrosive Gas now coming from Steelix. So this is going to burn up everybody's Leopard Berries. Sorry, it will corrode them, just to be correct. Last Pokemon now coming out for the Fortree Flyers is Corviknight, who's actually a Steel Flying type, so it is eligible to be drafted to the Olivine Ore, however was drafted to the Fortree Flyers. Corviknight coming on with that 105 base defense. Noivern needing to do something big. It's going to go with Payback, so it's not going to be very effective on whoever it hits. Going for Ferrothorn, not doing much damage whatsoever. Corviknight now goes with a Volt Switch. It won't go back into the bench, but it will target Ferrothorn. And again, not very effective. Doing even less damage than what Noivern did. Get a Flower Shield now coming from Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn lifts its defense, already been impressive, as mentioned before, 131. Get a Dragon Dance coming from Steelix, so it's going to boost its stats as well. Raising up its attack and its speed. It did need that speed boost. The momentum seems to be on the side of the Olivine Ore. They're definitely going to want this win to try and climb up closer to the top spot. Noivern's going with a Dragon Pulse. It will get the stat boost and it goes for Ferrothorn. Taking it down into the yellow ore, even though it wasn't very effective. Get an Icicle Crash now coming from Corviknight. Goes for Ferrothorn again. And they continue to chip away at Ferrothorn. Corrosive Gas again coming from Steelix. This time it's only going to corrode the Leopard Berry of Corviknight. Ferrothorn now. Goes with the Attract. And it's going to target Corviknight. So it's going to hope to immobilize Corviknight with that love. As always, in the description below, we have a link to our Google Doc containing the ladder, fixture, and stats, as well as our Instagram page, also containing regular updates. Noivern now goes with Dig, so it's going to bury its way underground. This could definitely benefit the Fortree Flyers now. Corviknight is in love with Ferrothorn. It can shake it off, though. And it's going to go with a Fusion Flare. This is going to be super effective. And it targets Steelix. And it finishes Steelix off. who's been in this battle for almost 15 minutes. Very impressive showing by Steelix. Ferrothorn now. He's going to go with the Smog. Doesn't affect Corviknight, however. And a Scavalier comes onto the field for the Olivine Ore. Scavalier with 135 base attack. This Pokemon will hit very hard. Noivern goes with the Dig. Going for Ferrothorn. Taking it down into the red. Corviknight still in love with Ferrothorn, and this time it's immobilized by its love. Ferrothorn now going with the rest. So this will actually restore all of its HP. So taking it out of the red, but it will put it to sleep. So if it can wake up fast enough, this could be very beneficial for Ferrothorn. Scavalier now. It's going to go with an Eerie spell. And it targets Corviknight. Not doing much damage whatsoever. Noivern's going to go with a Dragon Rush. Scavalier avoids the attack, however. Corviknight's still in love with Ferrothorn, and again it's immobilized by that love. This is not helping the Fortree Flyers. They need to continue to chip away. We get Scavalier laying the smackdown on Noivern, and it finishes it off. So Noivern has been eliminated with the super effective move. Corviknight is the last Pokemon remaining for the Fortree Flyers. Ferrothorn still being asleep. So we have 3 Pokemon remaining for the Olivine Ore, 1 Pokemon remaining for the Fortree Flyers. We are inching closer to that overtime warning. So you have to think Corviknight is going to want to hold on. Gets past that love for Ferrothorn, and it goes with the Lunar Dance. Oh, thankfully it fails, as there are no Pokemon to come in for Corviknight's place. It tried to eliminate itself from this battle. Clearly it is very lovesick for Ferrothorn. Scavalier is getting pumped, and Ferrothorn is still fast asleep, and there it is, our 3-minute warning. Corviknight is going to want to hold on for these 3 minutes. It needs to. Corviknight's still in love with Ferrothorn. Again, it shakes it off though. It needs to get some attacks out just to help itself if it does take it into overtime. Instead, it goes with an Amnesia, so all it's going to do is boost its special defense stat. Scavalier now. Goes with the Stun Spore. So Corviknight will suffer from paralysis. It will probably become the slowest Pokemon on the field. And Ferrothorn's woken up. And it's going to go with a Flame Charge. This will be super effective on Corviknight's Steel typing. However, it barely registers any damage. Ferrothorn having a very low special attack of 54 and its attack only being 94. Ferrothorn, though, just had its speed boost, and there is our 2-minute warning. So Ferrothorn's now the fastest Pokemon on the field and goes with that Eerie Impulse. So it's going to lower the special attack of Corviknight, and Corviknight's paralysis will continue to slow it down. Scavalier only having a base speed of 20. Goes with a Sucker Punch, but it does fail. Ferrothorn's base speed is also 20, but thankfully it has that speed boost at the moment. Corviknight is actually the slowest Pokemon on all of the Fortree Flyers roster, only having it at 67. And that gravity is going to bring Corviknight down to earth. So Corviknight's now susceptible to ground type moves. And it is still in love with Ferrothorn, and even though it shook off the paralysis, it couldn't shake off that love for Ferrothorn. Get a Fishious Wren now, coming from a Scavalier. And they continue to chip away at Corviknight, getting that critical hit in. Corviknight, though, still desperately holding on. And here is our 60-second warning. That countdown is on the screen, and we get a Rock Wrecker now coming from Ferrothorn. This will be super effective on the flying type Pokemon. And that's it. Corviknight has been eliminated by the very Pokemon it was in love with. Ferrothorn has eliminated Corviknight with that critical hit. And that is it. The Olivine Ore are the superior team today. There it is. Copperaggio eliminated itself, sadly. But thankfully, Olivine Ore were able to hold on. And there's that recoil damage. So many Pokemon actually doing damage to themselves throughout this battle. But Olivine Ore were able to hold on for the win. This is their 3rd win in a row, which will give them 2nd place by themselves. Which is fantastic for them. Whereas the Fortree Flyers have actually lost their 2nd battle in a row. After losing to the Heart Home Horse last week, the Fortree Flyers are going to want to have a better performance when they host the Spike McDevils in Fortree City. Olivine must be very proud of himself after those 3 wins in a row though. Next week they're going to want to get their 4th when they go to Ballonley to take on the Ballonley Angels. Very impressive. Steelix even been in this battle for almost 15 minutes. Sadly, Hawlucha taking itself out. And Noivern and Corviknight just could not take down the remaining Olivine Pokemon. That Fusion Flare, very impressive when Corviknight came onto the field though. But unbelievable. That's 3 wins in a row again for the Olivine. See if they can continue that momentum and try and get up to the top spot on the ladder. Fortree Flyers going to want to turn around that momentum, which has been ruining what they started off as a brilliant season. But as always, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. And let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.